Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Here's a quick update on my Ks3L solo mining. This is the one that I updated with the Ks3M board, control board, and I'm getting stable 6100 to 62 gigahash. So almost 2 days I've been running with updated board. Prior to that I was mining solo on just Ks3L at 5 terahash. And I'm pretty much done with this. So first 3 days I did really well. I was receiving a lot of rewards, probably 14 if you remember previous video, but 14 blocks roughly, or 13 blocks per day. And then now I'm not getting 5 blocks. I just recently got a block, but it was at 580%, which is ridiculous low. I guess I didn't lose anything because it's 65 blocks for 7 days, probably breaking even with what I would be on a pool. However, it's just annoying because it's just going down and down and down for me. So I'm switching, doing a new test. I'm gonna switch this miner to pool, K1 pool. So it's 65 blocks per 163.9. Gave me 10,600 Kaspa divided by 7 days. That's a 1521 Kaspa a day. Now, with the upgraded to 6 terahash, I was supposed to be getting a little more. So if I would be 5 terahash, I would be around 1400 Kaspa, according to hashrate.no, correct? Let's see, 1442 Kaspa. That's for 5 terahash. 5 terahash, what do we get? 1491. Oh wow, it's went up a little bit because probably the hash rate dropped a little bit. Yeah, so it's fluctuate. However, in average, it's probably getting 1400 or 1450. So I did a little better. However, if we do the math and we use our let's say it's 50 pentahash is average right now, 165 block reward. So we were supposed to be getting at 6000 terahash, roughly 1700 Kaspa, right? So if we at 5 terahash, it would be 1447, and see on 6 it would be 1737. So yeah, if I would continue to run at 6 terahash with the same rate, I'm pretty much doing better on the pool, getting close to 1700 Kaspa a day, right? Well, obviously hash rate on network gonna change probably a little bit. The price of Kaspa fluctuate a little bit since yesterday, so but it's, I think it's still around, is it still around 47? 4.7 cents, I think it is. Yeah, 4.7, almost 4.8 on the Kaspa network. So let's take a look what we've done here. So we've been around 6 terahash on average, and 6 terahash average hash rate everywhere, right? So it's not below 6 terahash, and still not still hitting blocks. It's only 5 blocks for the last 24 hours, which is ridiculously low. If we do the math, 5 blocks times 163.9, that's how much they paid. It's 819. That's half of what I could mine on the pool. Now, don't forget, previously I did 13 blocks, 14 blocks a day. So I guess that's the way the solo works. So you would get, someday you get extra blocks, maybe 14, 15, 16 blocks, and then another day you won't get any blocks, and so forth. So it's kind of makes me think it is just at the beginning, because I was trying to do switching to solo several times, and my KS0s actually did not perform at all. I had to switch all 6 of them. All 6 of these guys I switched to pool, because for 7 days I didn't hit any block with 2 of my KS0, which that's pretty much ridiculous, right? So let's take a look at my, this one I just restarted because I upgraded to 19 volts finally, all of them, all KS0s. let's finish with Ks3Ls, so we don't jump there. So I'm getting 6,000. I put this to the pool now and restart it. So let's see. It's gonna take probably about 5 minutes or so. Probably already started. Let's see on the pool. Not yet. So I'm still 6 minutes. So we'll wait another minute probably, and then we'll start mining on the pool. So I'm done with solo pretty much. Comparison for this miner. Whole week I mine. There's no gain, no loss to that, so we kind of break even compared to pool. However, let's continue not mining any blocks, so I just want to do another test. So okay, we're back online, so we're gonna show up on the pool now. Pretty sure pretty soon we're gonna show up here. Oops, that's different pool. Let's see right there. Yeah, so we just getting on the pool. I was mining here with the two of my KS0, but now we're gonna start here mining with Ks3L, which is gonna be at 6 terahash, the upgraded one, right? So, and also what I want to do, compare this one to my other Ks3L that I upgraded board. For some reason on the hum pool, I don't know if it's because of hum pool or just Silicon Lottery, I'm not getting full 6 terahash on this one. It's a little lower. It's even dropped sometimes to 55, between 55 and 57. So I'm not 100% sure what's the deal with this one. Anything different, same boards. I switched, so on the network, I mean on the dashboard here on the pool, it's 579, 542, 5.5. It's not been the full 24 hours, however, it's just a little weird. It's not, I restarted it, just was trying to see if something wrong. Maybe something with temperature is too high. So I'll watch closely and see how it's performing to compare this miner hum pool to K1 pool. Maybe I'll switch them around between K1 pool, put this on K1 pool, this on hum pool after 5 days, just to get an idea what's going on, if that's the pool or not. And we can compare which pool doing better for Ks3L upgraded to Ks3 to 6 terahash. So that's for the that's it for Ks3L. Now we should start getting this one to 6 terahash. It's already 5, so hopefully we'll get there. This is solo mining, okay. On the pool mining, hopefully we'll get that to 6 terahash as well and keep it stable there. And on the solo, I'm just gonna collect this and pretty much 8 for solo for me. So let's take a look for our, and I'm gonna change probably that just to clear it out and start fresh, so we can compare freshly. After this updates at 3 o'clock, we'll have 0 here. And look at this, it's 800 for half day, so it's roughly 1600 will be for full day, for a full 24 hours. 1600, which getting pretty close, but it's still not 1700. I should be getting at least 850. My guess is the hash rate was a lot higher, like at around 52. So the yeah, so it's around 1670. I still should be around 830, 840 half day, right, Caspa? But we'll see, because my hash rate is actually fluctuate, and it's like 5800. Yeah, that's probably why I'm a little bit below 5700. That's what I'm getting, around 5700 to get to 16, something like that. Anyways, we'll see how we can compare two of these miners in the next 7 days, so we'll start today is October 18. So I'll have to change that to 18, and then yeah, and then I'll report back to see which one of those pools are better, is if we're doing better on ham pool or K1 pool, right? So we're not longer solo mining, we'll be just doing a pool. And now back to my KS0s. I was able, so when I switched them all to 19 volts with the converter 12 to 19 volt on my server PSU, if you guys remember, I did server PSU for all 6 1200 watts, 1200 watt HP server PSU with the breakboard that I use for mining for my GPU card. So it worked perfectly on 100 gigahash. When I start upgrading them to firmware to 160, only one miner was able to hold up, I believe this one. So miner 3, only 1 out of 6 were able to upgrade to 160 gigahash. All other ones were failing and they were just restarting. So what I did this step up transformer, as I showed you before. I used that voltage step up converter, 12 to let's see where that, I did search for infinity fan, so let's look. I did this step up, it just came today and right there. So I used these two 380 volts. It says 480 here on Amazon, but it's 380, basically 20 amp by 19 volts. So it's good enough for 2 of the Ks0s, and I still using the server PSU for all 6, and I just updated voltage to 19 volts. So 3 of them running. 2 of them on 19, this one on 12 volts, still doing the 160. Probably still need to update that to 19 volts later today. And then I added 19 volts to my number 1, and it's been 20 minutes on the network, still doesn't work. So it only works on the 140, unfortunately. And this is the very first miner, the very first batch. I don't know if that have something to do with that, because if it was older unit and something maybe with the board inside, that I'd even upgraded firmware first to the factory, new firmware, how it's supposed to be, and then I did 160 and it doesn't work. It's just not reporting any hash rate for me. So I don't know what's wrong with this miner. Yeah, I've tried on the 12 volt, 19 volts system, and 150 doesn't work, so I'm gonna put it back to 140. That's the only one that works for me. So going back to 140 on this one, and let's see after 19 volts if I am able to get, okay, so I'm able to get close to 160, 156 on miner 5, which yeah, it didn't quite go to 160. It was always like 156 when I tested on 19 volts the other day. So hopefully it's gonna update a little better in a while, but that's where it is on the 5. And number 6, actually it's the worst one. So when I put 160 firmware, it's actually running only at 122, which is kind of ridiculously low. The temperature 4758. I don't know. That's my suspicion. Is the on the my 6 miner, probably the my thermal pads or thermal paste, it's dried out, maybe because it was running a little hotter when I was trying to update. I didn't notice the fan was off, so something happened to that specific miner. If you guys have similar issue, let me know, but I'm thinking to update the thermal pads on this and see if it's gonna go to 160. So at this point, I think it just, when I do 160, it starts fluctuating. My guess is just overheating and then drops the hash rate because of that. So I'm gonna put it back to 140 because it doesn't work at 150 either. And by the way, I measured the power at 140. You're roughly using 85 watts, 82 to 85 watts of the power, which means not full 115, so you're like 40 watts less, so you're producing a lot less heat, so that totally makes sense. However, I'm not sure if that the issue is my specific KS0, Ks0 number 6. So if you guys have a similar issues, let me know. I'd like to see if you were able to fix that or not, but I'm gonna do, so basically I have 3 of them perfectly running on the 160, right? So 3 of these miners, they're 19 volts, 1 on 12, but they're all 160. So I put them on one pool, 2, 3, 4. Average I supposed to get to roughly 480 gigahash, I think. If I'm gonna do, well, 160, then it's 480, probably 470, because it's probably gonna round up to 155, somewhere 157. So my guess will be 470, 471 in average in about a day. So I'll keep that running separately, and then all these 3 miners that will be at 100. I'll have 2 at 140 and 1 at 160, which one of them will a little fluctuate, but I still want to like to figure it out. Hey, is it gonna perform better for me or not, right? So I'll keep an eye on these 3 that's a little bit worse than the other. Just make sure when you switch, update your firmware, you go back and get your fans back working, because it's really heats up the unit a lot. So if your fan's not working, your temperature gonna jump right after it starts. So make sure you go back and check again. For some reason, after I start, I have to do the fans twice, because at first when I put 100% and then a minute later it restarts back to 0 or 50% for some reason. Then I have to go back and put another update for fans to 100%. See, so I'm gonna try to do it again. See, back, fan sped abnormal. I just did it and it went back to not spinning. All right, so I did it. When I do second time, that's the only one. It's after it's keeping the full fan speed and the temperature drops. So make sure you watch that, because that's, if you leave the fans off, internal fans, even though they're very small, they remove a lot of heat from inside of the miner. I have external fans, they blow between 1,000 and 10,000 RPM depending on the temperature, on ambient temperature. So there's a sensors I have. If you guys seen my video, I showed you before how it's set up. So anyways, we'll see after this 3 restarts, we're gonna start counting and see how they perform. Now I have this already run for a full day. It's around 140 Kaspa on this, 135 here, because I already had 20 Kaspa on this wallet. So I'm gonna restart, make them 0, and because at 3 o'clock I want to just kind of time it to do the full day cycle, and we'll run it for a good 7 days, and I'll report back like which what's the difference actually on running at full 3 miners between the around 470 hash and the other 3 gonna be roughly 415, I think, or 420, 425 I think, right? Because it will be one of them 160. So we'll see the difference. I think 430 will be average. We'll see. We'll update the averages, but like 40 gigahash, how much Kaspa we're gonna lose on each day by having less gigahash by 40 gigahash. So something interesting probably to see at the same time, just to make sure that the 160 gigahashes really give you a better performance. So that's where I'm after, like all these 3 miners gonna run at 160 and 3 others gonna be only 160. This is gonna be 140, one almost 160, and then this one will be at 140 probably as well. So once they restart, and then so I'll zero this out, I'll collect all this so we can run and do the full test of the 7 days mining on this 6 KS0s. On my KS3Ls updated version, will be watching them too, just to see why. I mean, I don't know why on the hum pool I just had to drop to 58, now it's 61, so it just makes me more worry if it's a pool or not. So because this, look, I just gonna update it and it's still 60, it's 63, so it's kind of on the web GUI showing a lot higher than on the pool, but still it's a lot better than the one that on hum pool. So realistically what we want to see is how many Kaspa we can get from either of this miner on different pools. So if a hum pool gonna perform better even if it's not reported the full 6 terahash, let's say, right? So let's say it's gonna be averaging to 5.8, and I want to compare like to K1 pool where it's report 6.1, 6.2 on web GUI, and on the web, actually see where I did solo, it was reporting to 6.1, close to 6.06, so over 6 terahash in average, and it didn't do good on the solo, so that's why we back to pool here and hum pool here. So I'll update you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have same issue on solo pools, or if there is any other solo pools you recommend to try. But I'm gonna do the tryout right now for 7 days on 2 different pools and see how these 2 miners updated to 6 terahash perform, and if this gonna match our estimations here on the mining. So are we gonna get this 1700 Kaspa at least, you know, like around 17 or what? And of course, obviously, if the hash rate goes to 55 pentahash, it will be 1579, but we're gonna know what's the rate is on the pool, and if we're getting around the same as reported, right? Let me see if their hash rate data know if they update it with KS3M. Yeah, I don't see Ks3M. Ks3L still here, so kind of weird. I guess my KS X16Q reported $4 and the 164 after power 436. So I was supposed to get $2 and I guess ETC and Silicon. I'm doing Silicon ETC, and it's kind of interesting reported on the pool. So I have already 115 Silica. It goes on the pool and then it disappears from the pool. It's just kind of interesting way. So see, like now it's a Silica being mined, and have already 120. So once in a while, this, not sure how Silica works, because it's looks like Zil just get disconnect from the pool. Ethereum Classic always on the pool. So I get this disconnected for, you know, a few minutes and then it connects. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I'm not sure. But it added Silica here on Ethash, and then I have the Ethereum Classic being mined there as well. So that's where I'm at. I hope that helps you somehow to figure your solo miners if you should mine solo or not, but didn't work for me after a week. So basically on the first one and the second try on the KS0, it's the same issue. I mined for 7 days. It was perfect. I was getting a lot of blocks on KS0, believe it or not. I were hitting blocks and blocks and blocks, and I was so happy, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. So that's where we at. Let's see if we're back online. Yeah, so 140, no issue with my very first batch. However, I cannot go any more than 140 gigahash on that one. This was the last batch, but it still fluctuates, doesn't go all the way to 160. I guess that's just a silicon lottery. However, I'm still thinking maybe a little bit with temperatures or thermal paths. That's what it is. And the last one is the issue that I have to run it at 140. Every time I update to 160, it runs at 120, which is ridiculous, even lower. So it drops kind of lower than 120, sometimes all the way to 80 gigahash. So at 140, more stable, it uses less power probably. So let's take a look how much power we use on this 6. It's a 700. I don't know if you could see this. This is my nope, sorry about that. So this is my KS0, all 6 miners connected to server, and I'm using 789, 800 watts right now. 800 watts for 6 miners. Now I do have 6 fans that are each one of them, and it's really hot right now in the shed, so they're running full speed probably at 20 watts. That's around 120 watts for fans, because it drops sometimes to 700. Let's see, 800 divided by 6. I am roughly at 133 watts per each miner. And by the way, 2 of them not mining at 160, only at 140. So if I deduct the power from the fans, which I believe it's about 100 watts right now, right? So 700 divided by 6, so roughly, 700 divided by 6, I'm doing around 116 watts. That's what I've seen roughly. Other people getting 110 to 115 watts per each, although I think it's still a little bit higher just because I'm using converters now, step up. So it's possibility that I'm using maybe 2-3 watts extra. However, I like to use a server PSU, very stable, takes a lot less space, very easy to connect to breakdown board, so it makes the whole miner just cleaner, and I don't have a bunch of those laying around. If you're mining with 1 or 2, probably no problem using just a regular PSUs, but if you're using bunch of them, 10 or 20, definitely server PSU is the way to go. Save a lot on bunch of those extra buying those transformers. I mean PSUs for the 180 watts. I would buy instead just these guys, and I already tested. It's enough to use one for 2 KS0. Totally, I put it on the frame. I screwed it to my miner aluminum frame, so it cools down perfectly. No issues. I've been running already for 3-4 days. I added one more for just to have all of them on 19 volts, and yeah, no problem. I think that's the if anything happen, I'll report, but I think it's the good news for the not buying. It's only $40 if you compare to any of those 180 watt or 150 watt power supply, right? PSU. Probably gonna spend a lot more. Well, yeah, 240 watts, 39. Well, it's about the same, $40. I didn't know they're cheap, but yeah, 56. well, you can only run one KS0 on this guy, right? So if you spend 40-50 bucks on a power supply and you're gonna use it on 6 of them, you can do instead, if you have server PSU, I guess that's the best route to go, and just go ahead and get step up transformers, booster or whatever they call converter, 12 volts to 19 volts, hook it up to your server PSU, and you could get individuals if you like to run and be safer. It's still like it's 30 bucks. Yes, and you can individually connect, but then you have six of these sitting instead of 2 of these. And by the way, you can buy even larger on eBay, I believe. That's 30 amp, which probably gonna run at least 4 of those. I could have connect 3 here, but I'm gonna hit in the limit 380. I'll be like around 100. 330 they don't recommend because they get really hot. So I'm keeping like under 60% load, which, you know, makes them work fine and hopefully last longer. Anyways, that's it for this video. Sorry for the long one, and see you on the next one.